Kitty Gamer here, and since I already have Kinich, it's time to do the Kinich test run. So I did go into his test run before I started recording, and that's because I wanted to test out and see how his Night Soul mechanic works, and I basically pretty much figured it out. He is basically a literal burning DPS. Yep, he's a burning DPS. His whole point is to gain Night Soul points to do massive damage, and then his E is basically on a timer, so you have to do as much damage as you can before your E runs out. So anyways, without any further ado, let's just try him out, and you'll see what I'm talking about once we dive in. So Kinich could also be used for exploration purposes because he has a grappling hook, just like the other Scions, which is the grass dragon guys. But yeah, as you see there, you could do a grappling hook move. It does have a cooldown though, so you just have to watch out for that. But you can do this, and then you can do whatever you want afterwards. It's pretty cool, honestly. Oh, looks like there's an enemy here. We can just test them out. He's mostly only good on yeah, he's mostly only good against like teams with Pyro in it, because he gets more Night Soul points the more Pyro characters you have on the team. So yeah, but he still works pretty well as a solo DPS. As you saw there, he's able to do massive damage. I think that's it. Yeah, now we can just go up here. Yeah, but you can literally just do grappling hook, and then you can do grappling hook again. He's pretty fun to play. He also is pretty good at movement because unlike the dragons, he keeps his momentum. You'll see it right here. So I use E, he keeps his momentum. You can use it again right there, see? Yeah, so he usually, yeah, he just basically keeps his momentum all the time. You can also do it while gliding too for more movement options, as you see there. Yeah, it's pretty cool, honestly. And he basically works just like the dragons. You can do E and then normal, and then E again, normal. Yeah, that works, surprisingly. Alright, let's grab the last pyro particle, and then let's just fight off the enemies right here. So this is basically going to be showing just how much damage he's able to do and how he works on a pyrocentric team like burning. So obviously, since he is a burning DPS, he's going to work well with Emily. Emily is going to be his best partner, but we can see here, you can do normals, and then you press E once your bar is full to do that much damage, as you see there. So yeah, that is his main gimmick. You press E again, right there, bam. Yeah, he does so much damage. Alright, let's do burst. Let's do Xiangling. Alright, we could do Kale, because why not? And then let's do his thing. Alright, we can do burst. Let's see how much damage this does. Kablam! And then it does a big AoE dendro damage. I see that. Look at that. Alright, let's do burst. Let's do burst again. And let's do Kinich's grappling hook thing. And we can just do this. There we go. We can do E again. Nice. Alright. I'm pretty sure we could just also grapple hook towards them too. As you see there, it locks on. You can do that, and then it auto locks on for us. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We can also look at his burst again. Let's try that. Let's do this to get the burning buffs on him. We can press E right here and then use burst. See what this does. You can probably see the howl damage right there. Alright. E. And there we go. He's pretty good, honestly. Alright. That's it for Kinich's gameplay for the most part. I'm gonna be going here because the enemies do respawn. So yeah, I'm just gonna be going here to look at his kit. So yeah. Alright. So here is Kinich's kit according to Hoyo. So see there, he has high attack. He also has low crit rate. That's because his weapon gives him low crit rate. And also he doesn't need crit rate anyway because he has Obsidian. Yeah, Obsidian Codex. Obsidian Codex is a must run for him because he has low crit rate anyway. Same with his weapon. Look at that. 10%. At max level, it's 11. 11% crit rate. So you basically have to run crit rate subs on him. You have to run crit rate subs. You just have to. You also have to run crit damage subs too as well. Mainly you want the crit damage main stat on your artifacts, but for the most part, he's just basically going to be functioning as a DPS mainly. He scales off of attack, crit damage, dendral damage, the usual DPS build. For his weapon, Fang of the Mountain King is obviously his best weapon because it boosts his elemental skill damage and also boosts his burning and Burgen reactions as well, which is what he does for the most part. So yeah. As for the best free-to-play weapon, honestly, just give him any crit damage weapon and he will perform really well. So yeah, really nothing much to say there. As for artifact set, of course, Obsidian Codex is probably going to be his best artifact set because it is tailored to DPS sets. Like, for instance here, the 2-piece set literally gives him 15% damage boost as long as you're in the Night Soul Blessing state, and he's going to be there for quite a while, especially if you are in a burning team. So yeah. And as for the 4-piece set, of course, it gives him more crit rate, which is pretty good for him because he doesn't have crit rate. So yeah. As for constellations, well, we'll look at that later, but we can look at his talents first. But I see here, his normal attack is not really used that much unless you are in your elemental skill right here. Because if you are in your elemental skill, you just do big damage. Your cannon damage is also pretty good too. Look at that scaling. That scaling is ridiculous. Yeah, he does a lot of dendral damage. His normal attacks are pretty good too. You might want to level up his normal attacks because of his elemental skill, so it's a pretty good thing too. But mainly what his elemental skill does is puts you in a state where you circle around the enemy with the elemental skill. You could do normal attacks to build up meter. Once you build up enough meter, or Night Soul points in this case, you press E to launch a cannon, a spike cannon. Yeah, that's what they call it. To launch a spike cannon that deals massive dendral damage. As you saw there, back then when I was playing Kinich, you saw that it does like 100,000 damage. Probably it'll be even more if you build them properly. So yeah. As for his elemental burst, it is literally a basic AoE dendral damage burst. It's nothing really that special. But you can also use the burst to extend your Night Soul thing to do even more spike cannon attacks. Yeah, it's pretty good overall. I would say though to not focus on his burst that much. It's only probably going to be used to extend your duration because all of his damage is going to be front loaded or back loaded with spike or cannon. So yeah, it's just going to be really detrimental that you want to do spike cannon, of course. As for the others, probably not as important. Normal attack is probably not important because it's only normals. Elemental skill literally gives you the looping shot damage anyways on normals. So yeah, you don't really need to level up normals. For burst, you might want to level this up if you want to do damage or extra damage on burst. But anyhow, it's not really that important. The only important stat you probably want to level up is this. This skill right here is his bread and butter. So yeah. As for his passive talents, remember when I said that he's a burning DPS? This is the reason why he's a burning DPS. Because when you enter the desolation state and when the opponent is affected by burning or Burgen, you basically restore 7 Night Soul points, and it happens once every 0.8 seconds. This means that your Night Soul state lasts longer. Yeah, it lasts longer. It's pretty good. You are going to be mainly using him on Burgen and burning teams, especially if you are using his weapon, which literally gives you more buffs if you are in those teams. But yeah, it's really detrimental that you want him to be on a burning and Burgen team. But it doesn't really matter in the most part because he's pretty good without it. So yeah. As for his other passive talents, right here, Flame Spirit Pact. When you basically get a 1 stack of Hunter's Experience, which is pretty good, and it lasts for 2 stacks. It also happens when you do trigger a Night Soul burst, which is pretty nice. It's really good. When you do that, your Canopy Hunter Riding High Skill Spiker Cannon will be increased, and it'll deal 320% of his attack. So yeah, you want to give him attack because he is going to be scaling off of that for this to be specific. So it happens when you trigger a Night Soul burst, which is pretty easy to get. So yeah. As for, well, his best partners, obviously, is probably going to be Emily, Bennett, Toma, you know, those characters. Those characters are probably going to be his best thing. So yeah, Night Soul Burst is pretty easy to get. It's extremely easy to get. So yeah, well, his overworld passive talent, he has 2 of them, by the way. This is your typical Natlin overworld passive talent. He literally gets Felicigen, and then he uses Felicigen to use his elemental skill. Yeah, it's pretty simple. And this literally gives him Natlin resources on the map, and it also increases his movement speed by 10 seconds. Yeah, it is really good. That's basically it, honestly. Yeah, that's it for his kit right there. Now it's time to go over his constellations. Keep in mind that I am going in blind for his constellations. So let's see what we have here. So his constellation 1, after Kinich lands from Canopy Hunter Riding High, I think that is his elemental skill. Yeah, that's it. That is his elemental skill. All right. His movement speed will increase by 30% for 6 seconds. Okay, that means that he's probably going to be one of the best exploration characters in the game. Okay. Additionally, Scale Spiker Cannon's crit damage is increased by 100%. Okay, this just makes him a total nuker. Yeah. This means that he's going to be doing massive dendro damage. No doubt about it. It's going to be extremely broken. Honestly, his C1 is really busted. Yep. 100% crit damage on Skill Spiker Cannon. That's his whole kit. That's his whole bread and butter. And he's going to be doing that much damage. Yep. Broken. As for C2, when Kinich's elemental skill hits an opponent, it'll decrease their Dendro res by 30% for 6 seconds. Additionally, the first Skill Spiker Cannon Kinich fires after entering Night Soul's Blessing has increased AoE and its damage increases by 100%. Okay, this means that he gets an additional 100% damage on top of the 100% crit damage. This means that he's just going to be doing like, what, like 1,000,000 Skill Spiker Cannons per hit if you build him to the maximum. Yeah, this is going to be extremely broken. And on top of that, they get Dendro res for 30%, which is really good because it literally paves the way for other Dendro characters to do a lot of damage, like the Hida or Kale or anyone else who is a Dendro sub DPS. They're just going to be popping off. So yeah, it's just going to be super good for him. His C3 is pretty basic. It just levels up his Riding High by 3 levels. Okay. C4, alright. When Night Soul's Blessing, Kinich will restore 5 energy after his loop shots or after unleashing his Skill Spiker Cannon. Okay, so he just gets energy back for free. Pretty nice. Energy can be generated once every 2.8 seconds. Additionally, Hail to the Almighty Dragon Lord deals 70% more damage. I think that's his burst, right? Yeah, that's his burst. Okay, that means he just gets more energy when he is in Night Soul's Blessing, when you do a Skill Spiker Cannon, and he gets 70% more damage on burst. He's gonna be nuking a lot, that's for sure. C5, it looks like it just increases his burst by 3 levels. And the C6, okay, this is where stuff gets crazy. Alright, after Skill Spiker Cannon hits an opponent, it'll bounce between opponents once. That means that he's just gonna be doing AoE damage. Yep. His Skill Spiker Cannon does AoE, okay. Dealing 700% of his attack as Dendro damage. If the Skill Spiker Cannon triggers the buffs that passive talent Flame Spirit Pact or the constellation Tiger Beetle's Palm. So it looks like you just have to hit them with your elemental skill. And for let's see, Flame Spirit Pact, I think that's when you're in a burning or no. Yeah, it's Night Soul Burst. Okay, yeah, it's when a party member triggers a Night Soul Burst. Okay, when you do that, is it the bouncing attack will also obtain the relevant buffs. Okay, that's broken. Okay, wait, let me read this again. If Skill Spiker Cannon triggers the buffs that passive talent Flame Spirit Pact or the Constellation Tiger Beetle's Palm grant to the cannon, the bouncing attack will also obtain the Okay, so this means that it doesn't include just one enemy. It includes all the enemies that are in the bouncing radius. This means that he's just gonna be nuking everything. So he literally becomes a single target DPS into a AoE DPS. Yeah, that you know who else does that? Nuvolette. Nuvolette's a AoE DPS. He literally kills enemies in a straight line. Yep. But well, for Kinich right here, he bounces off enemies. He bounces off all of them, dealing spike damage. Well, enough said about him. He's pretty good, honestly. So yeah, well, in my opinion on Kinich, he is probably one of the best Dendro DPSs in the game. Yep, I'm gonna say it right now. Even though he is team locked to Bergen and Burning teams because of how his kit works, he's still probably one of the best Dendro characters in the game. He's just way too good. So yeah. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching this Kinich test run. If you guys do enjoy the content that you're seeing and if you want to support the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot if you do support the channel. Helps me keep me motivated and making more videos. Keeps helping me pump content for you guys. So again, if you do like and subscribe, thank you guys so much for all your support. It really does mean a lot. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So again, thank you guys so much. And as for the comments, what do you think about Kinich? You think he's cool? You think he's broken? Just as I said, or you think he's probably not all that? He's like one of the weakest Dendro characters in the game. Let me know in the comments down below. I would be interested to see what you guys think about Kinich. And as always, thank you guys for watching this Kinich test run video, and I'll see you guys in the next gotcha video.